Hey everybody, this is your girl A Slay.
And your girl Fee Shante.
And we have
Pastor Mosley,
Dr. ACJ.
the bishop of the Jordan Grove Missionary Baptist Church.
Hey.
Oh,
there you go.
Yes, and for those of you guys who tune in every Tuesday, you guys know they come on the show once a month. Okay, and we always have some hot topics. And you know, they give a good biblical perspective. I didn't want to say religious or church. You know, they give a good biblical perspective while remaining human. Does that make sense?
keeping it real.
While remaining a man and a woman,
That's right.
you know, and not becoming of the Pharisee nature. Okay. All right, that's the best way that I can explain it. So the show is still fun. I love when you guys come on. Okay, and you know, Christmas is next week.
Yes.
So happy early Merry Christmas. Yes. So look, I do got a couple of topics I want to ask you guys, but I really don't have any letters in today. Okay, we did get yeah, right. We did get a comment from last week.
Okay.
Okay, what they say?
Last week letter, a lady in how old was she? Maybe 32. Her husband had left her and her children. 3 years ago? Was they married 3 years?
No.
3 years ago.
Left 3 years ago.
Left 3 years ago. Now he wants to come back out the blue, and she does and want to be back in her life. She doesn't know what to do. So initially I said, let this man spend time and get to know his children and make that bond. But if Felicia had the top two questions of why did he leave and why does he want to come back? So throughout the week of my journeys to the car dealership, you know the guys gonna let me know how they feel, because they always say I'm knocking them down. Fellas, I don't be knocking you down. No. You know, we just be saying some things that you can do to help better your relationship and situations, and sometimes it just is what it is.
I guess it's hard to hear.
Yeah, now when we get on the ladies, the women usually just be like, I was listening to what you were saying, but you know, they're gonna talk about it. Fellas, you know I'm on your team all the way. Shout out to the people in Hattiesburg. I've been getting a lot of Hattiesburg listeners. Okay. Shout out to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Shout out. Yeah, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Dallas. Shout out to Michigan. Okay.
Dallas. Now, Dallas.
Are those your people?
Oh, Lord.
My twin brother
Lord.
is in Dallas. So if you're listening, Darren Gillespie, Q, if you're listening.
Shout out to Q.
Shout out. This your brother Rico.
Yeah. You know, so those are our top areas. Dallas, we get a lot of North Carolina, South Carolina, Tuscaloosa been coming in extra heavy, and Africa. You know, it's all over. But we got our first listeners and follow social media wise. Now we worldwide, stream us live from the web. If you guys want to stream us from the web, you can. We worldwide there, but remember our first listeners, followers was the Africans, and I was like, where's Jackson at? You know, Jackson wasn't paying me no attention, but shout out to them. They also has a 90.1 across there, you know, so we was keeping in touch throughout the COVID, you know, and it was getting rough over there, you know. I was feeling really blessed. Okay, shout out to Africa, Ghana, and Nigeria. Yes. Shout out to you guys. Of course, shout out to Jackson, everybody that support and come to the events. Because, you know, the cruise is coming. Oh, wait a minute. Back to the letter. Back to the letter. So the only comment, is a lot. I had fellas with some concern. Now, I thought I was going to get a lot of women feedback, because women generally have the children. And a lot of times, especially in our community, the men leave, okay? Then they want to come back, then they leave, then they come back. Come on, you know, the reoccurring. All right, so I had a lot of men said they were in that situation with the children. And they talked about how the divorce put the change in the child and how it shifts more than just a separation. And he was like, I would wish y'all would talk more about the parts they don't talk about. You know, and sometimes in my instance, you could wait till the kid get older because you think that'll fix it. Oh no, that's when they start getting their minds and thinking and questions and not understanding. Because if you haven't walked through certain steps of life, you're not going to come from that understanding. So I told them, don't vent to each other. In front of the kids, don't talk about each other.
Right.
Because they're your child looking at it from a different aspect.
Yeah.
But I guess in a lot of situations, sometimes the parents felt as if they were losing their children. So is there any advice, or what would you say for someone who's the primary parent who have their children, and then the family divides, and so now the child has a life in this home, in this city, and the child comes home and have a different life, and that child has to balance multiple lives,
Yeah.
So what do y'all think?
Okay. I don't know whom else is divorced, but I know the two gentlemen, my partners, my brothers. Sometimes I had to put the D's there. My brothers have not been married, but I have been divorced, and I have 4 adult children. But at the time, I had one still at home, one who had just left home, and then one who was going to college. She graduated very early. She graduated at 16. She's now a successful attorney.
Oh, shout out. Good job, Mom.
But, there's a but. For all of my kids, they have been affected emotionally.
Yeah, mine too.
My kids were affected financially.
Yeah.
My kids were affected because we agreed to be good co-parents. So we agreed to continue to finish the job as it relates to the children.
Yeah, finish the job.
But it's never over.
Right.
Being a parent is never over. I have an adult son who is disabled. So right next to the successful attorney, her older brother is disabled. And all of my children live all over the globe. But, I do agree, we didn't argue in front of them even married. So there were no disagreements and stuff like that. Everything we talked about was behind closed doors.
So y'all co-parent well? Y'all show a good example, or is that hard to do? Or do one party sometimes?
If anybody cuts up, it's probably me. But I'm going to say this. Cut up in my definition is not cut up in the average definition of cut up. I'm just the person who might say something at the event that we both need to be at, like a graduation, and I holler out, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, at the graduation. And he'll be like, oh, Lord, that would be your mama. That's right, it's their mama. I'm still saying, that makes my children uncomfortable, though. So it's not very different in the sense that whatever the disagreement is, when parents disagree, I don't care how old you are, everybody in the room is uncomfortable.
Yes. Yes.
My kids have a pact, and they talk about us together, but never to either of us.
Yeah, and you know what? I have found that my kids have a group. Mm-hmm. They have a chat group, and it's a lot of them. So they get together in their group, and they're discussing.
Yeah.
And some stuff I don't know unless and this is how I found out about the other group chat. When they accidentally sent the message to my group chat. Oops.
Yep.
And it was like, oh, well. And then I have daughters. So they're in their early 20s. Mm-hmm. And, they meet life and they think they know how life works. And they think they have a clue. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you really hear how they feel about you, how they think, how your actions. Mm-hmm. So, I got all my steps because I know how their understanding is. So that's why I tell a lot of parents, don't vent to your children.
That's one thing.
But when you got another parent, it's a little rocky.
That's why I said we agreed to be good co-parents.
Agreed.
We agreed on that. So it's not a matter of venting. But the last thing I want to add is everybody needs counseling in that setting. I don't care if they're small children. I don't care if they're teens, if they're adults. Even adult children who are products of divorce are impacted negatively. And so mama, daddy, the children, everybody needs, especially when you end up, so I got married only 6 years ago. I won't get into the details of his because that's too telling, and I'm not trying to make a brother look bad, but I just say he ain't do everything the right way. But nobody does. Nobody's perfect. But it's necessary that counseling is involved, especially when there's a third adult involved, and then kids are expected to act a certain way or act like, oh, so now we supposed to say yes ma'am and no ma'am to you. You know, my kids are adults, so they decided I'm gonna call you by your first name. You know, that was on them. Were they raised that way? No, we were raised Miss such and such and Mrs. So and so first name, but my kids saw it differently because of the situation. You know, one of my kids now calls her mom. Do I like it? Heck no. As I feel like if she want to be somebody's mama, you know, I got thoughts. You know, so nonetheless, they have the right to do whatever and then not have to hear about my problems. You know, I can tell, I do tell them how I feel. You know, some of them listen, some of them don't. But at the same time, like, well, she's done this, and that for me, so I feel like I should. All right, but don't say mom in front of me, you know, because every time I'm going to turn my head because I was the only one on the table. That's just, you know, my little 2 cents.
Now, let me share this, if I may. Although I've never been married and I've never been divorced because I've never been married. One thing, in addition to don't vent in front of your children, don't argue in front of your children.
Yeah.
If y'all are not together, don't put the other one down.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yes.
Don't do
That's
that.
right. Yeah.
Because now my situation is unique. My mom and my dad never married. But my mom never talked down about my dad. All the years that I asked questions about, well, who is my daddy? Where is my daddy? Da 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 da. She never said an ugly word about him. And it wasn't until I was getting ready to go off to college that she revealed what his name was. So when I got to Mississippi Valley, and big shout out to Mississippi Valley Nation,
Shout out.
because that's when I met my dad.
Wow.
When I went off the fall of '95, someone saw my face and said, "You look familiar," and had no idea that I looked just like my father.
Really?
Identical.
And very identical.
Yeah.
The only thing that separated us was that I was 6'3" and my dad was about 5'9".
You blessed.
And he had gray hair.
Well, he only had just about as much as I had when I met him. So not that much.
Yeah.
So, but mom never talked ugly or evil about him, and I appreciate her for that.
Yeah, that does a lot.
Because what I ended up finding when I was in college and I took a psychology course, a lot of the young people who came from broken homes, parents divorced or never married or whatever, and the father left home and left the children there with the mama.
Yep.
They get a skewed picture of the father because daddy left us, and it became, for some children it becomes, what did I do wrong?
It does.
What was I the problem?
Yeah.
And sometimes, and now fellas, don't think that this is me putting an indictment on the women. And ladies, please don't do that.
However.
Because you can't come to my church and fuss about it because we're on vacation.
Uh-oh.
Now,
But January is coming.
January comes, you still
January comes. They're not coming to Jordan Grove.
Drinking the champagne on New Year's Day. But they had, the stories that I heard from those young people, you know, they calling their father that sperm donor. And it hurt my heart. And I told him, I said, you know, think about this. He was not ready to be an adult.
Yeah, and you know, I gave my kids that speech. Because just because they grown, don't mean they have it all together.
No.
You know? And
and
I had to put me to the side.
Yep.
And because there's a lot of things that adults go through or life throw at you, because life is so spiritually ran. The physical world has no control over it. And a lot of people lose it. Or a lot of people can't handle. And, you know, and some people just fall. And sometimes even a spouse will never know.
That's right.
What's going on with that person. And you got to remember, a child's a child. A child think as a child think. You know, so when adults throwing that adult weight on them, you know, they can repeat what you say. They can kind of envision what you're feeling but they'll never know the full extent of it. You know, and parents should not do their children like that.
No.
You know.
And because of that, let's look at how interactions are played out in reality now. These are not real interactions.
No, it's not.
Because Mo and I can fuss and argue. He can say something and I'll halfway cuss him out.
Halfway.
Hold on, you're on camera.
Amen.
Halfway.
But now he'll laugh, I'll laugh, and we move on.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll feel like, well, you know what, I overstepped my bounds. And I'll apologize. Real, if I really said something really trigger you or anything, you ain't gonna say nothing. I'll say it for you. I apologize. Now if you accept my apology, well and good. If you don't accept my apology, you can go to hell.
Yeah. And you know what? That's why me and Fee work so well together. Because I can say, okay, I was raising my voice, or if we're talking and I get over passionate, or vice versa, we know each other well enough not to say, who's she talking to? I know she ain't just say that on the air. You know, we know where each other is coming from, and if we have a hint or instinct that we don't, we'll pull up. We'll be sitting outside in the yard, man or not, man. Come on outside. Yeah, what's wrong with you? You mad at me? You mad?
Or I know you're mad.
I know you're mad. What's going on? Let's talk.
Yeah, bring it up.
And people need to learn how to do that.
That's right.
Because that affects a lot of parts of your life. A lot of people don't know how to handle that. What is that? What is that feeling? They can't handle that.
It's really, it all goes back to the id or the ego and pride.
Yeah.
From a psych perspective. And from a counseling perspective, one of the issues that I've noticed in many communities, but especially in the Black community, is poor communication skills.
Yeah.
Communication goes a long way.
Yes,
there are people who do not know how to communicate professionally. There are people who don't know how to communicate, even in church. You know what I mean? Wherever we are, but we need to know how to talk to folks.
Yeah.
I had poor experiences at a restaurant today, and I sat there and took my time, pulled over in the parking lot at the BK, only went there because they have the vegan Whopper, the Impossible Whopper. And, you know, I'm there, you know, I could have went way to Madison anywhere else.
Yeah.
But I happen to go in the area where I live.
Yeah.
By me.
Go ahead.
Atkins and Beasley. But they are terrible. As it relates, I'm just saying, it was poor communication. The girl was nasty, and we continue to give people our business.
Yeah, and
service.
Good money for food, and they're gonna talk to you
very
crazy.
good.
They're Black though.
And what?
But why is that? And you know what? I'm glad
it's international. In fact, there's one in Europe, and some other places.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Spare me that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I tell Fee that all the time, and people don't be wanting me to go there on the radio, you know. But
I said my experience.
Come on, Fee.
McDonald's, Rallies, Wendy's.
Come on.
Why do I feel like I need to drive an extra 8 miles so nobody have an attitude with me when I pass on $13 for a half a hamburger and a cold fry and a flat drink?
And you rolling your eyes
and you rolling your eyes, and that's my last
You ain't said
$20.
thank you, right?
And I don't
got an attitude. The girl
attitude.
had reached her arm out the window, and I said, "Ma'am, I can't reach." And she was like, "Oh, here, ma'am."
Yeah,
you know, like
and they won't even look at you. Throw your money out the window.
Her head was turned the other way, and she just did like this.
Yeah,
you know, and so literally, I'm like, oh, okay. I pulled right around the parking lot. So I got my little receipt, pulled right on over there, and sat there and took the survey.
But you know,
and I don't want your manager to call me because your manager was probably
but is there a
manager I don't want to hear
in there? Ever since COVID, who's the manager?
The paper
16-year-old?
The paper says a manager.
Yeah.
On their paperwork
is the manager.
On their paperwork, it said they got a manager, and this person end up calling you after the survey.
So it don't matter. So what is Chick-fil-A doing? Because I don't even like chicken, but I pull up to Chick-fil-A because I like how
I can answer that
treated.
question. Chick-fil-A was my first job as a 16-year-old in Memphis, Tennessee. I can tell you what they do because did you say back then?
Look at me. I was like,
I'm your friend. Don't y'all play with me. And like I'm a
back then.
Listen, back then, in the caveman times, yeah. So nonetheless, they have.
House, wasn't
it? I'm so done with you. So Chick-fil-A has, first of all, it is a Christian-based company.
Okay.
The big difference is they can say we'll be closed on Sunday. And so everybody can go worship as they please.
Wow.
That's rule number one. So my mom didn't really want me to have a job as a teenager because focus on your grades. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. Every parent says that, but they also make a kid work on Sunday.
Yeah.
McDonald's make you work till 1 a.m. and you know you got school in the morning. And I know, again, just speaking on my experiences and people I know.
They cut off.
That I'm talking about high school. That was in high school.
I'm a former man.
I was at
Once
McDonald's.
again, back in my day,
Wait a minute,
former
wait a minute.
Vandal-
I was
Let
tired
me
going to
stop.
school.
That's what I know.
I was tired.
And my
Wait a
classmates too.
minute. Make him say that again.
I pulled all else at the camera can get him. Say that again.
Say it again.
Wait.
Look how they
You're a
doing
former
it.
what?
No, I heard that.
No, I heard that former manager at McDonald's, but they're supposed to now. They have laws in place. Hopefully,
They had
most
laws
people.
then.
Well, yeah, you know.
What they supposed to do?
Back then, that was in the.
What they supposed to
Back
do?
then again. I got something for y'all.
But
I got something for
what
y'all.
do they
I got
supposed
something for y'all.
to
Ain't
do?
like I'm old.
but you know,
They supposed to let the
they're
teenagers
supposed to
go
let
home
the teenagers go home
by 9 o'clock.
Well,
I was
now
at
it's
Whitney's
by
3
11.
a.m.
I know.
But now, as an educator, I think this was just before the pandemic or going into the pandemic. When I was teaching at Wingfield High School, most of my students couldn't even log into class because they had been out all night
Working?
not partying,
That's right.
not smoking up all the dope. Although I'm so sure that they did on their breaks.
In case.
But they were on their jobs at Longhorn, at Outback, at McAllister's Deli.
Yeah.
They were at McDonald's. They were at Wendy's. They were at Burger King.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was like, does anybody work at KFC?
Yeah.
Does anybody work at Wendy's?
You
I mean,
come out.
anybody at Sonic?
Yes.
Anybody at Rally's? Y'all at all these other places? Why not? But they were. Some of the children were telling me, "We don't, Mr. Vance. I don't get off work until 12 and 1 in the morning."
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, "Your hinder part need to be in bed, asleep." By
And the
time."
manager
They
threatened
can't
to fire
quit.
them.
That's right. They can't quit.
The
And they'll
manager
get
would
fired if
threaten
they
them.
do. And they need money for the family. They're helping the family.
Right.
Not just buying school clothes, but they're helping their family.
Right there helping their family.
Right,
But they're helping their family, true. But it's at the expense of your education.
Absolutely.
That's
I
true.
agree.
And
That's
was-
true.
and
But
that
that's
was
why
the
they
thing
don't
that
wanna
bucked me
quit.
up.
Right.
Right. Or
Because they helping.
or if they're not helping the family, it's well, so I can buy
Now they
I
got
can
a
buy
little
whatever
money.
I want.
Yeah, and it
Now they
lightens
got
the
a lot of
mama's
money.
load.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it does.
Right. So then here they come missing class.
Yep.
They're
Or
missing
sleep.
assignments. They'll log on and they'll sleep.
Yep.
And so by the time report cards coming out
That's
and
right.
they're failing my class.
That's right.
Oh.
And how in the world you fail music? It's the easiest class next to lunch.
Yeah, that's right.
But you know what? This is what I did. I let my kids start off on the weekends, and I know what child cannot work throughout the week. You know your children.
Yeah.
Now, the school's probably not a big fan of my parenting because, like tonight, my daughter get off at 11. So I might bring her 15, 20 minutes late. But I feel like if you're going to let your children work, I play my part. I make sure, you got this, do what you do this. What's going on with this class? You're slacking in this class. You got to put that extra effort.
Right.
If my child is feeling something wrong, we need to fix that part. Sleep or not sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, the schools, they just sick of them.
Or tell the company owner or whomever hired
Yeah,
them
well,
because they're a minor.
Yeah.
Tell
They should be
them,
able to-
Yeah.
I need my son to work only on Sundays
And that's what I
from
do.
2 to 8 or whatever, but as long as, because they got to be in church or they have to get up in the morning for school or they got homework, they got a project, whatever it is. They got tests coming up. It's time for annual or
That's right.
whatever testing.
That's right.
But we as the parents have to be the one to
That's
speak
right.
up for that because those people want a body. Those people want somebody
Yeah,
to
that's
work.
right.
They want
That's
a body.
right.
They want somebody there, even if they're not the cashier and they just the person
Now,
who's
I don't
begging.
even
Right.
want to say this,
And-
Mr. Robert,
and
but I got a
Go
question.
ahead and
Don't
say
say
that. Go ahead and
I
say
hate to say this, and this ain't, I love my car dealership.
Oh, come on.
But I'm going to say that you a manager at a car dealership.
Mm-hmm.
Them car salesmen is in there all day.
Mm.
All
That's their fault.
day,
All
night.
day, yeah. Mhm.
Day, night.
Mhm.
That's their
All
fault.
day, night.
Mhm.
Do car salesmen make pretty good to sacrifice their life like that?
They do, and even on the every day, the whole status, we're put off in the same category as lawyers.
And preachers, let's just say it.
Yeah, lawyers.
No, they talk about us.
No, they do.
We ain't saying they do.
No, they do. I'm
saying
saying that
we're
because
about money.
no, because car salesman, you can do well as a car salesman, but we're put in the same category as lawyers, as liars, as what is it? Sharks.
That's
loan
the look
sharks.
of a car.
Because we're put in this, but the thing is, not everybody, and it's because of this whole stigma from the car salespeople from the older day.
Yeah, now
it
is
because
different.
they were trying to get into. Now the markup on most cars is $700 to $1,500, and people are like, well, I want $5,000. No, you're honestly, and that was a thing that played on me.
Yeah,
not just being a car salesman. Yeah, but being a car salesman and a preacher.
Yeah,
and a Christian, you ain't finna rip people off.
As a preacher, you got to.
No, I'm trying to rip people off. That's all.
But as a Christian, too.
Yeah,
but because I remember this, and this is, I remember when I was at started out in 2004, and when in 2004 I met Great Daniels Toyota. But I started out there, and when I started out there, this is my first car salesman job. I went from fast food, which and I had just gotten, and let me see, I got 2004, 2003, I was licensed into ministry. 2004, I started. You said what now?
Start lying.
But it really messed with me mentally.
Yeah.
Because I saw a lot of car dealers, and now because I've been in the business so long, even not even whether, but consent over the years, I get a lot of people. Like I was talking to one guy this morning. He texted me to ask me about a particular dealership and something that they are running, and so I just talked with him about it. But you build up, and you have to basically prove yourself. You have to prove yourself, because then you have to let them know, hey, look, I'm not like the rest. I'm being, and it killed me because I had a whole office like this. I had the accolades on St. Joe, graduated, St. Joseph graduate, and then, got other stuff on my wall. And they said, oh, you got this. Why are you selling cars?
Right. Well, that's kind of like, well, you a good catch. Why are you single? Same thing. I'm coming to you. Did you hear what I said? I said it's the same.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
I said it's the same thing people say when they say you're a good catch. Why are you single?
And that's a good question, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. People say that.
And but
like car salesman. I did not say anything this time. I ain't say nothing this time.
You say nothing this time.
No, but the women see where she was coming from.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, when I started working at the car dealerships, I thought like you thought, like all these crooked people. That's why I got into marketing, because sales, I was uncomfortable. Because I'm too solid for that. So I'll market. But there are some genuine car sales, and I noticed there's a pattern in all the dealerships. It's certain types of people that works in no car. Now you'll know the guys.
You don't know,
and then all the other salesmen gonna feel the same type of way that that customer feels about that salesman that don't know him.
Right.
But but when do you get to spend your money? You live there.
You live
there. She's talking about you.
Oh yeah, she's talking about me now. Yeah, because I do live there.
They live there. When do you? How is your relationship?
Let's talk about that, Ron.
That one right there.
Yeah.
She said, how's your relationship?
I heard
oh, no, we shushing that.
Yeah, I'm
He will dip in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he really does. He'll leave town. He'll take breaks.
You do?
He does.
You have to. And
he don't take enough, but he does take some.
And being in the business for so long, you have to. I've learned that you have to mentally take your mental break, because when we switched hands, when dealership switched hands when we were Herring Gear, Toyota to Toyota Jackson. Yeah. Even before that, we switched management, and because in the car business, you don't know if you see them it's a term we call clearing the desk. You see them clear the desk. You if you get bought out or some other company comes in and they clear it, and some other company, what a lot of times what they do is clear the desk.
Yeah.
So you have and the whole from the GM, if there's a general manager, to the GSM, and the whole management team may get walked out. I remember when I was at when COVID hit, I was working at Gray Daniels Chevrolet, and a management company came in and bought the dealership out. So, and when they came in, I got a text. Nice working with y'all from the general manager. I just stopped by Starbucks to get some coffee. And he said, well, nice work. It was nice working with y'all. I appreciate y'all. And so then when I pulled up to work, by this time it called Starbucks in Maywood Mall. I'm driving down, so I go there. When I get there, the new car director, he said, well, nice working with you, Mo. I said, well.
Yeah, the car gave something else.
And then so I'm going and I said, God, no. They just let him go and let's let him go. And so now the sales manager there, I'm the internet director. And so I'm over all, and then I'm doing multiple areas as well. But the sales manager we had, so I get up there and it's a lady standing over him watching him like he stole something. And so she's clear and said, wait a minute, don't you clock in just yet. Oh, Lord.
See what I'm saying?
Then I go upstairs. You got a company phone? No, I ain't got no company phone.
Turn it in.
You have keys? Yeah, I got keys. Here you go. What else you got? And they said, well, blah, 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 blah. We don't see you going forward with the company. Yeah. And it's just like that. Right. Boom, you're done.
And you know what? From an outsider perspective, when a GM, a good GM or a manager leave, and that whole dealership change.
Yeah, it does.
Or that whole dealership starts to fall.
It does.
And I go in each one of them, and when a person make a big dent like that in your company, I think the company, the owner should get some sense and say, hey,
I agree.
my whole, without the pride, if it's about the money, making some money.
Right.
That's right.
Well, the new company wants to pay them less.
Yeah.
Well, here's a good instance, and you can probably what I'm talking about. Houston's on Poplar. Now for years, well, I don't care.
I'm just saying with them.
But for the Memphis crowd that might watch and might be listening to this. So just recently, Houston's, which is one of the most elite places in Memphis. You go and you meet all the celebrities, Bishop Gilbert Patterson and his wife. Right. Longtime patrons. And so here recently, I think last week, they sent out a message that said, well, we're closing. Boom. That's it. Caught everybody off guard and trying to figure out what to do with this. Where are we gonna go eat on Sunday afternoon? Do we go back to Jack Purtle and eat chicken and gravy?
Right.
And fries?
One of my favorites, Lord.
I know, right? I miss that stuff. But anyway, we need to get them here.
Yes, we do.
So at some point that they did a change in the management some years ago, and the service went down
completely.
Yeah,
mind you, out of all the years that I lived in Memphis, I never ate at Houston's because I thought that was one of those
the upper echelon.
The upper echelon.
Chicken
that was one of the caviar places. I was still trying to eat peanut butter and crackers.
I got you.
And so I never went. And because Louise Patterson went there, I knew that was high money. That was high money. I was trying to make enough money to pay my tithes.
I got you.
And I wasn't finna give them no Houston's. I know, that's beautiful. And so the service went down. The patronage started falling off.
Yeah.
People stopped, after a while they stopped going. It's like, they had a signature drink, the Mrs. Patterson, because she did not drink alcohol.
Just like Shirley Temple.
So it was like a Shirley Temple, a sanctified Shirley Temple. She wore a longer dress and she covered her arms.
And so, grenadine.
And so, amen.
Amen.
When whoever the bartender was, they didn't know how to do any of that, whatnot. And so, see, they go Memphis right there. I see it. Jeremy Randolph. See, I know.
Them my folks.
Get away from him.
Yes, he was my Facebook.
I don't care.
I'm just letting you know. That's why I know.
So anyway,
Shout out Jeremy. Let him know.
Yeah.
Let him know. Tell him who you with. Okay, go on.
We were
Don't start.
WMPR tonight on
Well, now.
but so
in addition to.
But in addition to all of that, whenever there's a change, when a church changes pastors.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Things change, things shift, people fall off.
Yeah, people
Things
fall off.
I left the church after a pastor left once.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm a slide on back over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because,
you're right.
Because one pastor, each pastor is different.
That's right. Yeah.
Mo at New Strangers Home has his way of connecting with people. He has a unique way of. Okay.
Go ahead.
We on live radio. He has a unique way of doing things. But
Absolutely.
now I come in, and everybody wants me to be the same way as Reverend Moses. Reverend Moses didn't raise his voice that much.
That's right.
Reverend Moses would do this. Reverend Moses did.
That's right.
You know.
When I first came to the station, I was different. So I'm going, we don't do it like that over there. We don't do this,
we don't do that. And so you have to be mindful of what you're stepping into. You can't change everything overnight, because if you do, you end up alienating people that have been there and long-term serving. And so when that happens, what ends up happening? You start seeing membership dwindling. One minute you had a 100 voice choir, the next minute you got a 3-piece ensemble.
That's right.
Exactly. But
That's right.
let me say this: one thing that has to happen in organizations, whether it's restaurants or churches or whatever, is change brings about growth.
It does, yeah.
So we have to stop just instantly rejecting change. I'm going to tell you why. We have to stop just instantly rejecting change. But there is a process in preparation for change, during the change, and then you check back later to see, okay, what went well, what didn't. So there may be some things that we need to start, stop, or continue with. But those are processes in corporate America that many times we really need to use in the church. And we need to allow people that have that skill set to be able to speak up and partner with them so that the change goes well. Because I agree, people don't have to fall off, but you allow them to be a part of the process. But if people who work at the car dealership, you're like, hey man, we need to get this kind of car in, and the lot looking empty, and anybody told you nothing, then you sitting there like, I don't know what's going on. And like you said, it was a group of people, because there was a continuation of people who had to be dismissed. But if the people had been a part of the process and the new management had come in and say, hey, listen, we want to keep all of y'all, but this is what we can pay for this job, and this job.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the right way.
So that everybody doesn't have to leave. Same thing in the church. We want to keep you on as deacons here. However, as the new pastor, the new whatever, we would like for you to know that your job description entails this, and this. I've had to do that as my neighborhood association president.
And you know what I always thought?
We have to do it the right way.
You know what I always thought? When I started working in corporate, especially with the sales and marketing for like bigger companies, out of state companies from Mississippi. And then I look at the city. And I say, they don't know how to sit and have a meeting. They don't know how to organize.
They need help.
Anything.
They need help.
That needs to be taught. If they knew the professional way of doing it, none of this in the city would have none of the arguments, none of these misunderstandings. Everybody would understand what chain of command is. Everybody would understand how to talk. When you go to a corporate meeting, awesome, perfect. It's about language. It's about communication. It's about the way you respond.
Communication.
It's about, if you don't agree, how to disagree.
That's right.
How to take it to the next step.
And beating on the table and walking out of a meeting ain't it.
That's true.
But people do that because nobody's taught them. There hasn't been a training.
And there's a way to disagree without being combative. I might not like.
They take it to the heart.
Right.
Absolutely.
They wear their emotions on their sleeve.
Absolutely.
I was just in a meeting a couple of days ago, and I won't go into any strong detail about it, but some things were said about me. Me.
You of all people.
Of all people.
How dare they?
I mean, No, we're not gonna talk about it because
The basics.
But,
High level overview.
well, here's the basics.
Mm-hmm.
So some things were said about me that I did not feel were true,
Mm-hmm.
and I just sat there.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there and I let them talk. And when it was my turn to voice,
Mm-hmm.
I started and they cut me right off and went into a whole nother thing. I said, you know what? This is what we're not gonna do today. But this is what I'm gonna do going forward. And I just said my 5 words, and I left it alone. Now, how they process with it has nothing to do with me.
And you know,
I've made up my mind.
that's why I handle. Look, my job called me. Adrian, can you make it to a meeting on Wednesday? Sure can. You know, corporate where I sit there, I listen.
Yeah.
You know, I might dip my eyebrows if something I don't completely agree with, but I listen.
That's it.
I listen, and then I go in for my response. And when they go, cause they're waiting on, they're prepared. They're prepared to flash back.
Yeah.
I go and I pause. I let them. I go. I completely understand.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know, but you know, and to get the communication, because it could be a slight misunderstanding.
Absolutely.
It could be a slight. Fee.
She got.
Come on.
Come
on here.
I know y'all say kill them with kindness, but they can be so hard sometimes.
It can be
Oh, we agree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not business. Not supposed to be personal.
It's not.
No, it's a job. Yeah,
that's right.
You know, and a lot of people be outside. I see people at the car dealership, storming outside, throwing fits. Like, why is your job making you feel this way?
Yeah.
You know, so what? To an extent.
And then you have to know also how to empower those you work with.
That's
if
right.
you're in management.
That's right.
Because a lot of times I look at, and when y'all said McDonald's, made me think about my kids. My shift was ran differently than anybody's shift. I had people that would want to work on my shift that would not work for the managers. Because one thing is, and the management team that used to own the Mac, they're not the one that own McDonald's now. And so I'm on there, and so I would know. Well, I ain't doing that yet, but you know, I would go and I would tell, and I saw potential in the kids, which a lot of times, you know, they want potential too, just like adults. And so I said, okay, you know what, you're running the front. Whatever they need, they're gonna come to you, not me. And as I did that, I said, look, during this time, when we do the mystery shop time, I don't care what they are missing. Write it down. I'm going to waste it and put on our waste log. And give it to them.
That's right.
Because $5 is not worth losing a customer that's going to pay you $5 every 2 or 3 days.
That's right.
And a bad survey.
And a bad survey.
And that's what I like about corporate, because you have a meeting, they just want to make some money. What is your idea?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow, well, let's try this idea for what, a quarter? You want to try it out for a quarter? If it doesn't work, what are we going to do? You're not going to get any bonuses. You know, so that's the best thing. But people, when they start in the business, like small business, they get stingy. They get afraid that somebody's going to take something from them. They want the spotlight. Forget the spotlight. The goal is to make the business go. The goal is to grow the business. Who cares if they have the spotlight or the idea? And treat your employees right.
We even get that in church.
As a small business owner, we can't take everybody's opinions though.
That's look, you know, I know.
You know, one of the things about being a small business owner, and especially for me being a black woman, and you know, in society many times we're at the bottom of the totem pole. We're expected to not be that smart. I just say that. So, and that's in some cases, you know, in many cases it may be different. Yeah. But I'm talking about my experience.
But see, I was saying like on a if you're gonna be structured, like communication. You know, when we were talking about how the corporate communicating, how a bigger company, they're just trying to make some more money.
Right. But in reference to the smaller businesses that are not able to take everybody's opinion, I can't afford to take everybody's opinion about what kind of toppings I need to have on my hot dogs.
That's right. Yeah.
When I opened this business, I decided I wanted 57 toppings on the hot dogs.
Yeah.
And Old Dog's new
I know what you're saying.
It's already detailed. And, you know, it's already on the board outside. It's already on the paper document that we're giving you.
But see, small businesses are surrounded by haters, though. Not not good employees.
But that's what I think,
majority.
Well, I tried to give her my
Yeah, I
opinion.
hate that.
Look,
I hate
that's
that.
not what we doing here.
You're throwing me off.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing.
And then you have our people that show up at a hot dog, at a hot dog establishment, and say, "How come you're not selling hamburgers?"
Because it's a hot dog
It's
stand.
a hot dog. Right, we are a specialty hot dog shop. And I said it just like that because even when people say hot dog stand, I get mad.
Yeah.
This ain't a hot dog stand.
It's a hot dog sit
we,
down.
we got AC, we got heat. We painted this building. It's a whole building. Ain't a hot dog stand. They standing at a
Or
table.
when somebody who
in
ain't
a
giving
window.
a dime got something. Well, I think
Correct.
you should have did well. Okay.
Correct. So we can hear your opinion.
Yeah, but I
maybe
don't.
some
Yeah.
things may work later on down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you
I appreciate
offering
you.
your
Thank
opinion.
you. No, it's great.
Right, but come up to this window and you ain't buying nothing.
Feed
Yeah.
us,
Talking
feed
about
us.
the people who
Yeah.
had this building
Customer
before,
service.
so
I
nachos
listen
and pickles.
don't judge.
Well,
You
talk,
know.
talk.
No.
Oh,
Because-
before our time is up, we got about
Mhm.
3 minutes. You guys, the cruise. Okay, you guys, it's a small deposit.
Okay.
It will be next December.
Next
Okay,
December.
December the 8th through
Okay.
the 13th, deporting out of Miami. You can add transportation if you want to. It's a itty bitty deposit. We're doing payment plans. Matter of fact, I'll be here this Saturday with DJ Handyman if you want to come to the station and put in your deposits. Okay, we got interior cabins, balconies. It's gonna be awesome. We're doing a Christmas ball, adult prom theme on the ship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
okay.
why I keep leaving your hat at the house. So Christmas ball thing. We're going to Jamaica. Okay.
Wagwan.
Yeah, and we're going to the Cayman Islands, and it
Okay.
will also include an excursion, the excursion transportation, and the cruise chat, a T-shirt, and a welcome bag, and some more goodies. And we're going to do giveaways throughout the year for all
And
the guests.
memories.
And memories, and good
Okay.
times, and relaxation.
Yes.
Okay, relaxation.
Yeah,
Get
I'm
to
gonna
be
take
wine
note.
and dine. You guys deserve to be wine and dine for a very, very low. Cause this is the A-Slate cruise, and I ain't trying to make no money. I'm trying to get y'all up out of Jackson. And if you're not in Jackson, you can still come on the cruise, cause we got a lot of out of towners
Just
that's
hit us up.
interested. Yeah.
And meet us.
Text or call me or
Bye.
DM me 601-215-8088 and ask me for a link if you want to pay your deposit or book over the phone. Text or call me, text me, send me a link to 601-215-8088. And we are on Facebook Live. I'm still locked out of my page, but the Shante page. So if you
Yeah,
want to
we're on the other
rewatch this
pages.
show,
Yeah.
because this was a good show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go to Fee House and watch the show. Or I'm on TikTok live at @ASlate_way. Y'all wanna get y'all, what's the name of y'all pages?
Robert Mosley on Facebook.
Just
Okay.
Robert Mosley.
Robert Mosley.
That's
you'll
it.
see
Okay.
it. Yeah, unless they
That's
go
it.
to the credit doctor.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that one too. That's
Yeah.
right. So my Facebook, I have a few. My Facebook page, the main one is Amina Campbell Jackson, the one that we're live from tonight. There's also Love Our Neighbor Services.
Ooh, you talk fast. You're gonna have
Yeah.
to give
But
both of
they-
those.
but
Oh, that
that's
was
why it's recorded.
I thought you were speaking Spanish.
No, but I'm saying we're on that page tonight.
Amina.
Girl, don't start. I speak
For
French.
the radio.
And-
For the
and
radio
Dutch. And
people.
Dutch.
Don't choke on
They
me.
hear me.
No. Give it to him one more time though. You was.
So the page that we're on tonight, we're live from Amina Campbell Jackson, and you can also go to the Love Thy Neighbor Services
Okay.
page, which is one of my nonprofits, and the Campbell Ministries page, as
Mhm.
well as the Healing and Wholeness After Divorce page.
Why you doing me? I don't know what's
Because you was going to say something.
I'm really enjoying you guys
Healing
tonight.
and Wholeness After Divorce, right, because we acting up. And then my last book, Sex and the Church, where we talk about...
You
there are
never
pages
brung this up.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
she
well-
is.
Oh, yeah.
a published
Wait a
author.
second.
Oh yeah.
Tune in
Never
at
brung
Tune in in
2025.
January.
Tune in 2025.
Yeah, so my
Give
last,
that page
most
again.
recent book is Sex and the Church.
Sex
The
and
other
the
one is Healing and Wholeness After Divorce. So there are
Oh, that's a
pages
good
as
one.
well as books, conversations,
That's
communities.
nice.
And then there's my podcast, campbellministries.podbean.com, where we talk about everything, and you also get the word. Amen.
Amen.
I'm over here.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to tell
The name is Rico D. Vance. RICCO. D is the middle name. VANCE. You can always find me. Bishop RDV on Facebook. Bishop RDV on Twitter. Bishop RDV somewhere else. I don't know. But you can always find me. I want to give a big shout out. I saw some of my members Jordan Grove on my page.
Yes,
and family. And my brother Darren Quentin Gillespie in Dallas, Texas, is watching and listening. So big shout out to my family. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, all of that.
Happy
holidays.
Hey
family, hey friends.
You guys, and be tuning in this Saturday with DJ Handyman from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. That is 90.1 FM prime time. Okay, and shout out to Miss Wanda Evers.
Yeah.
Shout out to DJ Lady Cherie.
Yes.
Book this cruise. Text or call me. Send me a link or more info. I can't give prices over the air, but guess what?
I'm sorry.
Guess what though? The deposit is like the price of 2 number ones at McDonald's.
Well,
or 2 movie tickets.
Two movie tickets.
And that was by my discretion, not me. And that's it. Okay. So text me 601-215. Yeah. 8088. Let's go to Jamaica, y'all. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right.
We're gonna do it.
All right.
And this is your girl A Slay.
And your girl Fee Shante.
Dr. ACJ.
Get the bishop.
Robert Mosley.
Bishop R.D. Vance. 833 in the house.
All right. Love you, family, from the 901 and the 662. God bless y'all.
That's it.
My 9%.